so excited. I'm going to make my famous oatmeal meatballs. I have a coworker who's moving to a new duty location, and she adopted a plant-based lifestyle and lowered her A1C. So they asked me if I would bring a plant-based entree. So today we're going to do oatmeal meatballs. So I've started the oven, and it is on 350 because these are going to bake at least 20 to 30 minutes on 350. It calls for 4 cups of liquid. So what I've done, I've used a no sodium added vegetable broth, 2 cups and 2 cups of water. I'm cutting this just to make sure it doesn't get, it's not too salty because we do add Bragg's amino. So I'm going to let this boil. So I'm going to turn this up so this can get boiling. And after it boils, I'll come back with what we do next. So now that our water has boiled, I'm going to turn it off and remove it from the heat really quick. And so what we're going to do, we're going to pour in a 1/2 cup of Bragg's amino. So this is the only liquid that sodium that we're placing in the meatballs. We're going to pour in 1 cup of pecan meal. And so pecan meal is just pecans finely crushed. I tend to keep them chipped so that it adds a meaty texture to the meatballs. We're going to add 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. We're going to also add 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I want to get all of this in here so that we get all of our flavor. And then what we have here is 2 teaspoons of savoury. Savoury is going to give these a nice meaty flavor. We have 1 teaspoon of sage, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of sweet basil, and 1 teaspoon of Italian flakes. So we're going to add that. We're going to make sure it's all out of the bowl. Then we're just going to whisk, make sure we get all of the seasonings in these meatballs. Stir those together. Mix all of the seasonings. Oh, that smells so good. And now we're going to add our oats. We're going to add our oats. And I tend to add these slow so that we can stir them and make sure they get nice and moist. So we're going to mix the oats. And so after we mix the oats, we're going to make sure that it absorbs all of the liquid that was in the pot. So I'm going to just stir, keep stirring. So it's really nice if you allow the oats to sit for a minute to absorb all of the liquid. So what we're going to do now, we're going to stop and let the oats soak up all of the liquids. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to make these into some nice meatballs. So, I don't think I said this. You put 4 cups of oats quick oats to 4 cups of liquid. And so we added pecan meals. If you want to keep this really low fat or you're concerned about nut allergies, you can chop up some mushrooms, chop them up fine, add them to the oatmeal, and it's going to give it a nice meaty texture. So now you can see the consistency of the oatmeal, kind of see how thick it is. So what we're going to do, you can take a ice cream scooper. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons to make my meatballs. I find that so this gives me the right size meatball. So then I just drop those into my casserole dish. And so when this is completely full, you're going to see we're going to put them in the oven and we're going to bake them for 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to come back once I have all the meatballs rolled out. So now we've rolled out the meatballs, the oat meatballs. You can see the size that I made them, about a tablespoon deep. If you want to make them smaller, you can. You can make them into patties. The 4 cups of oats to 4 cups of water makes roughly 50 meatballs. If you can see, I ended up getting 2 nice size casserole dishes. So we're going to bake these on 350 for 20 to 30 minutes. So when they come out, I will let you see the finished product. And then you can add your favorite barbecue sauce, your favorite, or gravy if you make it into a patty. But voila, we'll be back. So now we're going to take the meatballs out of the oven. And they should look like this. And so now you can add whatever sauce you would like to the meatballs. And then you can freeze, or you can freeze them this way without adding the sauce. And when you're ready to cook them, you can thaw them with whatever sauce you like. And here you go, Bon Appetit oatmeal meatballs.